We're back to the continuation of the segment from a few minutes ago. If you missed any, catch it on the Morning X podcast. This is the best of the Morning X on 99X.
This has been an incredible story, but I don't think we really will get to the nugget of this, to the MacGuffin, unless we have both parties to talk. So, bring in our guest, please. We have a guest here.
Let's bring in
Chris.
Chris. Hey, welcome to the Montel Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy show.
Oh my God.
Face to face for the
Are
first
meeting
time
for the first time
since the night.
Oh my God.
since Trixie went MIA in the middle of Operation Kenny G Storm.
Yeah. So the story goes.
Go right up into the mic.
Step up to the mic.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Barnes. How you doing?
Pull it down there. There you go.
Now, Kenny G, no.
No, Kenny G. I
Don't look
agree.
like it. In the
I agree,
dark.
but let's go to item one. Who told anybody that was Kenny G?
Not I.
The limo driver, right?
Okay.
Okay. So
He was
I
trying to
didn't-
get you in early.
Right. So it was a matter of standing outside for 2.5 hours, or I was going to play Kenny G. So Kenny
You know what?
G was.
I don't even know Kenny G. If I saw this guy in the dark, I might buy it for a minute.
Yeah, here's the
I mean,
deal, because
it's
your
not
hair
totally off base.
Your hair's a little lighter than Kenny G's,
Yes.
but you know, how
I
many
wouldn't
people
know.
have seen Kenny G in person? I mean, I could see where some people would think he was Kenny G.
I'd be like, okay, there's Kenny G. Whatever.
Okay, you heard this. You heard the rebuttal. Where was there a problem there for you?
Well, I first of all, I didn't. It was a fun outing. There didn't have to be a love connection, correct? Do all hooked ups end up in love connection?
No, we probably won't be buying another date for
So,
you.
there you go. No, that's the first question. The show was the attraction, and having a date was a perk. Obviously, that was going to be the fun part. So I was just trying to have fun with it. Whether we were each other's type or not didn't matter. But if I wasn't Trixie's type, then
The whole motivation
then so be it. But
for coming on hooked up is to get a date.
Right. So, and I was excited about the date, and whether she looked like she does, and she's very attractive, or if she wasn't, I would have stayed and enjoyed the show and tried to have a fun evening about it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way for Trixie. So, but I enjoyed the show, so I got something out of it anyway.
You
but
saw
I
the
feel like
show.
she got nothing out of it.
She said that you did nothing but talk about yourself.
Well, if I did that, then I wouldn't know about her previous relationships, and I won't go into any of that. But the first time we talked, what do you know about me? Tell me some facts about me outside the fact of my job. What do you know about me?
You live in Athens, you have a dog, you had a pretty close girlfriend you were going to propose to New Year's Eve, your
Okay.
parents live in Marietta, you work in Norcross.
She took notes. That's good. She took notes. All right. So Trixie had a guy.
She's a good listener, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, don't name names in these
Sure. No
punches
problem.
back
so
and
Trixie
forth.
had somebody that she was seeing, and that didn't work out because he was watching The Simpsons and didn't want her to talk. Wouldn't let her talk a lot.
Trixie
so.
needs attention. I've drawn from this.
I do.
Trixie's still working on the paralegal thing. The cab, she hasn't finished there. She's thinking about going, but maybe not because she's getting a lot of work experience on the job.
So you guys talked a lot back and forth.
We talked a lot. That's not true. She talked about herself as much as I did.
Oh, no.
What?
No.
What's wrong with that
Yeah,
statement?
and go ahead.
Go ahead, Trixie.
You yourself even said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even let you get a word in."
Well, from talking to somebody the first time, a little nervous, and I wanted to fill the conversation. I didn't want there to be a lot of dead air between us talking, so I may have talked enough about myself, but it wasn't dominated by me. I wasn't there to talk about me. I heard her on the air the first time saying that
So maybe he was nervous. Now, what about the limo incident and the spilling of the wine?
completely accidental. I got wine on me, too. My glass dumped over, too, so if I did it on purpose, it was a big mistake. But no, the driver took the exit. The glasses were too tall for the setting that they were in.
Yeah, it's always
They
like
tipped
that. The
over.
little hole doesn't fit in there. I
Right.
don't think the
Or
wine
about
thing was intentional. This wasn't what ruined the date.
They were champagne glasses.
Now she says that the reason there was Pizza Hut is because she says actually that you did speak that afternoon,
Right.
and that the whole business about you not being able to get a hold of her till later, and that's why you were late, is not true.
That's not true. I didn't talk to her at 3. Was it 5:30? 6? Yeah. It definitely wasn't 3. At 3, I was at Town Center Mall wondering, I wonder if she'll call and leave a message. So I didn't talk to her until 5:30, and I had to initiate that call because I left a number that she was going to call me when she had all of her business. She had Chili Pepper to go to. She had, this work thing going. So she had a lot of stuff to do, and I was going to wait to hear from her because I called her a lot, and perhaps talked about myself a little, and I didn't want to push. I said, hey, you call me when you're ready, and I'll set it up. I had to tell the limo driver what time to be there without knowing what time she was going to be available, so I guessed, well, around 8 o'clock. So the limo driver shows up whenever he can.
She said you're a poor man's Tiny Tim.
What do you think?
Anybody? I don't think so. I think he's a decent-looking guy.
I mean, it's all personal preference, obviously. He looks normal, though. I don't think he looks like a mutant.
Hey.
I never said mutant.
I know you didn't. No, I know. I'm just saying he looks normal.
I'm going to tell you what he is. He's Leslie's type.
Wait a minute.
I already have someone, though.
But you know what I'm saying? You like this type.
Yeah, he's kind of artsy looking.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
It's all personal
that's not
preference.
the point. Talking
that's
about
not the
who
point at
looks
all.
like,
Right,
you
okay,
know,
that's subjective.
The looks don't matter. I think that it just from the very beginning, they just hit it off on a wrong note. She thought he talked about himself too much, and he thought that she never kept in touch.
And I thought our conversation was really good, and whether I talked about myself too much or not, which isn't the case, but from the time that we were there until the time that we were going to meet up Friday and something came up and she couldn't do that, till the time that we met eyes, the conversation was all good. There was nothing awkward or clunky or uncomfortable at the situation. Otherwise, you don't talk on the phone for 2 hours if somebody's talking about themselves. You don't hang on the phone for 2 hours and go,
You say I got to go.
Exactly. The beeper goes off.
At any point, did you have a good time at all? Did you think maybe it's going to go the distance?
I mean, I guess I kept thinking that maybe it would get better, but
it didn't.
no.
Well,
Is it okay? I'm wondering, is that something, I'd like some studio response on this. If you're not having a good time on a date, and please, just because I'm asking the question, I want an honest answer. Is it okay to just kind of like leave in the middle?
No.
you should say that you're not having a good time. You can be honest and say.
We don't know what happened at Atlanta Live now because Trixie said that at Atlanta Live he ignored her.
Okay. Nevertheless, is it okay to leave in the middle without, like, just disappear?
If I am out on a date and someone is ignoring me and not paying any attention to me, yeah, I'd leave.
It sounds to me like with most things, the truth probably lies somewhere in between these two stories. I'm sure it was not as good as Chris said, and I'm sure it's not nearly as bad as Trixie. So I'm sure it's somewhere in the middle,
Right.
which would lead me to believe that I don't know. The whole taking off and leaving.
Well, there was a little chunk there where I had to sign the autograph in order to keep us in the club. If I would have let down the Kenny G thing then, they would have bounced us both outside, and then we would have been standing outside. So to keep us both inside, I had to go along with the charade, and I signed
that's
the
not
autograph.
lie. You were having
stand
fun.
there for 20 minutes and
It was-
talk to her
it
with
was
your back
about-
to me.
It was about 5, and no,
And
I
no,
should
it
have
was
drawn you to the
not
conversation.
5
But
minutes.
It seems to me that's where it went awry when you apparently had your back to her,
Apparently.
ignoring her. Which, if
But
I
that
have
was-
if I have a date like that and you're doing the autograph thing, at least you could work her in the conversation.
You're right.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that long to sign K Squiggle.
Exactly.
All right,
I had to
guys.
talk about my earlier albums and stuff and the tour. so-
His earlier work.
Yeah.
At least shake hands and part
Oh,
as
absolutely.
decent friends.
Hey, we got a great story out of it.
There
Thanks
you go.
guys. Thanks to you.
Okay, you guys are good sports. You know what?
You are. Thank you.
Do we want to try it again?
We'll pay for it.
We will pay for it because the audience has
Well,
chosen.
tell me a little bit about yourself first.
All right.
Okay, Trixie really wants to kill us all.
It's all right, Trixie.
She came here.
I'm not mad.
Okay, good.
The best of the Morning X on 99X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The original 99X.